Hello guys and welcome back. We're getting ready for game number 2 here between Hokori and SG Esports. The question to my panel is, I'm gonna start with you, RDO. Do you feel like Hokori can bring this back, or do you think there was some cracks there in game 1?
Yes, I feel like Hokari can win the series. They just need to believe in themselves. I feel like they were
Okay.
too. They were not confident on first game. I'm
Okay.
not sure why, but just keep the morale up so you win the series.
Do you think that has something to do maybe with the fact that recent BTS Pro Series results not so great? They just started DPC. Do you feel like they're still feeling themselves here? They're not in the shape that we saw them last season where they were very hyped up.
Maybe they were putting too much pressure on themselves. Like the last
Mm.
season they played, they were like the underdogs. They got fifth place in the season before, but now they're like, oh, they're the top three Hokari that almost beat Bisco. So maybe they have
Yeah,
some internal pressure. You just need to play
that's
their
fair.
game.
Wingblade, I've heard a lot of players that have told me that once you think you can win is when you start to lose. Would you agree with that statement?
I think so. I feel like being the underdog is so nice. Like, you can look back at the OG runs. I mean, the second one, they were kind of favorites, but the first one,
Yeah.
everyone's like, OG, who cares? And even like the new OG, they were all players that hadn't been established yet. So no one really believed in them. And then they started winning. And it's been true for like many teams where once they get like all the superstars or they start winning, that's when it starts falling apart. So just playing from behind, it's really nice because Dota is a mental game after all.
Do you say that as the advantage of like how other teams see you, or how you see yourselves, like
I
the
think it's
underdog
both.
story?
Because if other teams like they underestimate you, you can often surprise them with picks or just playing like really aggressively and they don't see it coming. But at the same time, you need to be in the right headspace to play well. If you truly don't believe in yourself, you're gonna play like shit. But if you're super overconfident, you start making mistakes too. And like somewhere right in the middle is perfect. And I feel like if you're the underdog, you're right in the space where it's like we can win, but like it's not expected or we don't have to win. And if we lose, that's totally fine. I feel like that's a really good spot to be in. It's like for
RTO, I've heard
SG,
from
right? Because
Yeah,
they
go.
just got out of Division 2, so they have the confidence of winning that one. But at the same time, they're new in Division 1, so no one expects them to win. And that's like the performance mode.
Yeah, the golden hour, right? The 1 hour in Dota where you're the best. RDO, I've heard from people that you're one of the most PMA players out there, outside of your pubs, of course. What would you say that helps find that like perfect spot, that ego in check? Is there any exercise you ever do? Do you meditate, that kind of stuff? Anything you'd suggest for the players?
I wish I did meditate, but I just when I was playing Furia, it was the only team I played that
Yeah.
had a psychologist, and the guy said to every time I feel different in brain, I just take a deep breath. So that's all what I do. I just take a deep breath. But if you go like, there was a game that Asini recorded from my PC. Of course, the my teammates on Discord cannot hear the deep breath, but Asini recorded the game on my PC, and it was like 24/7, man. It was such an intense game, and 24/7 I was like. So I don't explode. I just keep the focus on the game.
I'm not a psychologist, but you know, if you stop breathing, the game tends to go worse. So I definitely agree.
Yeah, because you need the oxygen to reach your brain, right? The less oxygen in your brain, the worse your decisions. Did it help though, RTO? Wingblade psychology aside,
Yeah,
do you feel like there was a difference?
It usually helps, but
Okay.
you have to take your mic off, or otherwise your team will think you're trigger or something.
Okay, that's fair enough, actually. That's a very interesting side to the story. As we now get into the second draft, and we see an interesting ban to start off with Hokori, getting rid of the Enchantress. Let's start with you, Wingblade. Do you feel like that was to enable the Beastmaster for this game, or do you feel like that's just because the Enchantress is a huge nuisance to them?
I'm a little bit puzzled as well because I don't think that Ench was the problem. But yeah, it does definitely open up the Beastmaster again. And I guess they're not expecting Hokori to pick it. But if they get the Beast again, no. Never mind. Hokori just picks it up for themselves.
Wingblade, I gave you a chance. I teed it up for you. You just have to say yes. Well,
Yes.
there we go. The CK does get banned by SG as well, so they probably value this pick highly. Maybe that was the idea if the Beastmaster wasn't available. I'll just get the CK. Do you think RDO CK is still top tier carry right now, like our wonderful caster said?
He's still strong. He's not as strong as last meta, and I cannot say for sure because meta is new. That there are probably stronger carries than him. It's just that people don't know yet.
SG Esports.
Yeah, I agree.
That's fair enough.
At the same time, the self-nerf does impact other heroes more, but I feel like, as RDO said, it's too soon to say. For the start of the patch, it tends to be good to still like play a little bit of last patch's meta, so you don't just go completely off the deep end, start picking CK4 like I suggested last game.
Yeah. To be fair, you didn't suggest it. You just said, who knows, anything can happen, right?
True.
But Wingblade, this reminds me remember when the big patches would happen all the time, right? And there was like this massive patch that would change everything, and the last meta was dead. And people, for the first week, they would always pick Luna, and that was the one hero at the beginning of the patch that would never be good afterwards. Do you remember those times, Wingblade, my lovely old player?
Yeah, those were the days. And then it turned out that
days, huh?
Luna was still shit, and like
Right, every single patch.
2 base damage increase didn't suddenly make the hero viable, which is okay now.
She is okay now. We did see it lose yesterday though. So another thing that is quite okay is this Hoodwink Sanking lane. We saw this a lot last patch. Do you still believe in his strength right now, RTO? The Hoodwink Sanking?
Not really about the Sanking, but I still believe in the Hoodwink, especially LTH Hoodwink. I feel like it's his best hero. And they always pick it. It's just too good. One thing, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but when you play against Frank, you either steal the Beastmaster or you ban it. Otherwise, you're gonna lose. It was the same strat we had when Frank was playing on Thunder and we used to win against them. Frank's a really strong player when he wins his lane, so that's why he usually gets last pick or 23, and you have to ban his Beastmaster every time. Like, Hokori knows it, and they just stole the Beastmaster. Like, first game they picked on 6-7, and now they first pick it. That's a smart draft move by them.
I mean,
I
it's
like
so
that.
nice
Very good point.
to have a player like Frank where you have to pick or ban Beast, and then you do pick or ban Beast to steal it from SG, and then you still lose.
Yes.
I mean, this was the same thing that what you're saying, RDO. Hector actually told us in an interview ages ago where he said, it was actually quite funny because I asked him, about the Beastmaster because it was off meta, and he's like, oh, Frank is so oppressive on the hero, starts praising him for a while, and then he goes, in short, just fuck Frank. Like, fuck him and his Beastmaster. I don't ever want to play against that again. I hate him so much with it. And it's interesting because when a carry says that, the highest praise an offlaner can ever get, right? It's, I hate you so much, I'm just going to insult you right now. I'm out of words now.
Yeah.
What other heroes do you think we could be seeing here besides that that Sanking? We have both kill lanes here, off lane and 4. What complements these kill lanes? Actually, what's the difference between these kill lanes when you compare Beastmaster Skyra to like Hoodwink Sanking? What would you say, Wingblade, if you were to compare the two?
I feel like Beastmaster Sky has a bit more vision, but Sand King Hoodwink is a bit more mobile and like has a bit more presence when the ultis are on cooldown. Because Beast Sky is like 1 kill every minute or so, right? But Sand King Hoodwink can just keep pressuring, where the Sand King just sits in the sandstorm and Hoodwink just sits in the trees. While Beast and Sky are maybe a bit more vulnerable to like getting ganked or something.
Okay, would you agree with that, RDO?
Yes, the good side about Beastmaster is that he also adds siege. Like, Sand King will only kill heroes and make the map annoying, but Beastmaster, if you don't, stop him, he's gonna take your tower. Like, you have to contest the hero. It's kind of annoying. But if it's a Sand King pushing a wave or a Sand King missing, you just have to be scared of it.
If Senking does the typical rotation where he goes to safe lane tower to defend, can he defend against a Beastmaster, or does Beastmaster still take that tower?
It depends on builds. It depends on levels. Like if Senkin gets a good lane and he gets an early Vanguard, it's very hard for Hokori to take tower because Beastmaster can't really siege against the how is it called? Sandstorm, yes, and they can only kill him if he has Vanguard with Skyref ulti.
Yeah, I would agree with that one. I'm not always a huge fan of Vanguard on Sand King, but against Beast it's really nice because it just buys you like 5 extra minutes of having a tier 1 tower.
Yeah, and I also got buffed, right? The Crimson Guard.
You think it's worth it now?
I'm not sure. Maybe it's worth against Beastmaster. Let me check the buff.
Some people have been trying it out.
The block increased a little bit, went from 70-35 to 75-50. I don't think it's huge, but it could be nice. I feel like the item is a little bit undervalued generally.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, it costs quite a bit to upgrade it, and you have to think if it's like better, even in this game, than like already having half a Lotus complete. Because Lotus is such a good item, and it's also like extra armor and gives utility to the team. So I feel like it's not necessarily bad, and in certain games like against a Beast or a PL it can be very good. It's just that there is better options most of the time.
We're gonna go for a Witch Doctor now. This is gonna be their response to Beastmaster, a hero we don't see as often to deal with boards as ACM, for example. Very strong boards, the paralyzed cast. What do you think of the hero right now?
I am not sure of the Witch Doctor pick. I think it was nerfed, wasn't it? Like now it only stuns for 1 or 2 seconds instead of the old 10 seconds on units.
Oh really? I thought it was 5 before, but
I mean, I think it. I'm pretty sure it got changed. Only CM has the bunkers duration on units.
yeah,
If you guys
it's
keep
double
chatting, I'll
damage
just check
on
real
units.
quick.
What? No, I just checked. Don't worry, I got you, Wingblade. It's double damage on units, but not double stun anymore.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So fast, Avo.
So-
Damn.
I used to be a software engineer, man. This was my talent, googling things.
Oh, we spoke about
Yes,
this hero.
Luna, we did. She's not very good right now, though. But well, I mean, you said she was actually fine, right?
Totally fine.
5 seconds remaining.
Okay. What is the weakness?
SG Esports.
Ardio, what is the weakness?
Alright, they're gonna
Yeah,
pick
what is the
TB
weakness?
on 18, guys. I had to say that. They're gonna pick TB here. TB
That's
against
the weakness.
Beastmaster, Luna, and Undying. Luna's weaknesses are Scotty heroes. Agility Scotty heroes. Because
10 seconds
when
remaining.
the Agility Scotty hero get BKB and Scotty, you're gonna lose the 1v1. Because if you think about it, Luna is not a strong 1v1 carry. He's gonna lose most of the matchups because his first spell is a beam, second spell is to farm, third spell is 35 damage, and ulti gets countered by BKB. So it's a pure team played hero, you know? But yeah, no TB, so whatever.
Yeah, I mean matchups
Alright.
are a big thing for Luna, but I don't think Wraith King is super bad. If you have like a few 4-stars in the team, it can be fine.
I don't think
Well,
it's
what is
super
the-
bad, but TB would win the game in here.
Why Wraith King though over TB? What do you think the logic is? Besides, is it just a player preference? Because Berna definitely plays TB.
Wraith King's gonna hold the tower. TB wants to go
Okay.
jungle and Beastmaster will take tower, but Wraith King will just sit. Of course, if he gets a good lane, he will just sit there, farm jungle and lane with skeletons, and make the game annoying for Hokori.
5 seconds remaining.
I feel like Witch, he's like, Berna, you got picked off a few times last game, so we'll pick you a hero with 2 lives. So if you get like Beast Roid, we can catch up in time.
Only concern for me is that Wraith King don't hit Tombstone. They have 0 heroes to hit Tombstone at the
10
moment.
seconds remaining.
It's true. Can you pick a mid laner to hit Tombstone? Because Hokori is thinking of spirits right now. Can you go for like a Lina style hero? Is that possible?
Yes, Win is pretty good here because Wraith King don't want to carry Aegis, and Lina loves to carry Aegis. So you like to pick Wraith King and a mid hero that wants to carry Aegis, like Lina, TA, a Storm, you know?
Okay.
I
Like
think
that.
The Quote ban is interesting.
What do you think it indicates? Wingblade?
10
Detective
seconds
Wingblade?
remaining.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure because I was thinking Lina as
5
well because
seconds
Lina
remaining.
like ticks all the boxes, gives you a lot of damage at range, gives you some tower push, good Aegis carrier, quick BKB hero as well, which is really
Radiant
nice.
team
But I don't really see what a Quop would have done because Quop also doesn't hit Tombstone. She's quite vulnerable to like Royal Sky ulti. I guess she's decent against Luna.
Maybe it's a terrible matchup in mid, and Hokori's thinking to pick a mid laner that gets countered by Quap.
Ember Spirit.
Yeah,
Not quite.
I have to say I don't fully get it. I don't think Quop would have been super good here. But we'll see if SG goes for the Lina. I still think it's very good against Ember.
You agree, RDO? Are you still a fan of Lina?
I'm a big fan of Lina, but I have zero idea of mid matchup, so I don't know what Quap does against Ember or Lina against Ember. But yes, it's a good Lina game.
Okay, I appreciate the honesty there, RDO. It's good to see. I mean, you know, people say the mid lane it doesn't even matter anymore, right? It's all about the mid game now, so maybe you're right to not know. We'll see what the final pick for SG is. It is Faker, though. He does play Lina, but it's like one of the few heroes he plays as win conditions. His Invoker's obviously been banned, right? Oh, it has not.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It was
yeah.
less banned.
You may now
Oh, there's
select
this puck,
your
yeah.
heroes.
Faker was a fun guy because last season he was playing Ag's Puck a little bit, which was a very fun build, and he would actually like rush it as a first item. We'll see what he does this game.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
It
not
was
sure
interesting.
about the Puck. I've seen Embers do very well against Puck lately by just maxing Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains, and getting Orb of Corrosion, and Puck really struggles. We'll see.
Okay, so seeing this time, guys, I mean, what team are you gonna curse for this game, Wingblade? What do you think is gonna win?
Oof. I mean, I'll just say SG so they lose and we get a game 3.
Okay, but do you actually believe that, Wingblade, or are you just not gonna
Of
reveal
course.
it to me?
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
I'm always sincere.
All right, that sounds sincere. RDO, what about you?
I hope I don't jinx them this time, but I think Hokori will win. Like, they have Beastmaster plus Undying on Radiant. It's free Roche, it's snowball game, it's what they like to do, no jinxing, let's go.
Okay, RDO, he's honest. Wingblade, he's Northern European. We're gonna see what the teams decide today as Hokori versus SG. They fight for the second time. If SG wins, this is gonna become a 2-0. We'll get a nice interview with them. If Hokori wins, we get a game 3, which will allow us to be on schedule for the next series of the day. With you, your wonderful casters, Gareth and Lacoste.
Thank you. Yeah, here we are as we've got a lot of tempo over on that Hokori side, like the panel's been saying. Lacoste, honestly, the most interesting thing for me with this new anti-salve meta, heroes like Gareth Mage who spam people out of lanes. SG, Wraith King, Witch Doctor, going to be a little bit sad, it feels like.
Yeah, I agree. I also want to touch upon like a couple of things in this game. Like they opened up with 2 supports and then they like had to pick something because like both of these supports, they don't have any kind of protection, they don't have any kind of save. They also shown sanking, so playing into Skyrat Mage plus Beastmaster, like these 2 heroes can easily play together. Even Ember Spirits, once the chain is maxed out, and it's going to be maxed out early on because you're playing against Puck, so you don't want to put points in the Flame Guard. You also want to play aggressive, have a kill threat on Puck. So they needed to get something that can survive that, because if they just go on your carry, they have like BKB piercing ability. If you don't get the BKB off Mystic Flare, you're just straight up dead. So this Raid King makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried. Like Puck Ember matchup, I feel this can go both ways. I like Ember more in this one, especially if he gets the support once Puck gets level 6. So you have like rotation, especially from Undying, to have a bit of extra heal, because Puck does destroy any kind of spirits. Once he hits level 6, there's not much you can do. You need to stand there, try to buy some time. It's very difficult, but we'll see how that one
man.
goes.
That's a lot of damage onto LTH. Yuma does have another Lucent Beam in a second, but a good
As a Fairy Fire.
Yeah, you're right. Uses it early, preemptively healing back
He's
up.
still dead.
It looks pretty screwed to the concussive shot, and one more tap from Yuma's Luna. Gareth also zoning Frank away, so there was no attempt to try and save the Hoodwink.
Also, one of the issues that SG is going to have is none of their heroes can hit the Tombstone. Like, they have good ways of protecting the Tombstone with the Beastmaster, with the steering chains. One slow from Scarlet Mage, like, yeah, you're going to run away from it.
Yeah, I mean, like, Hoodwink can, but very often Hoodwink's playing from trees and not wanting to show her face in a team fight properly. Does get some good damage on the Luna early days, though, as LTH returns to lane. Get Frank those levels he needs. Currently with Brown Boots, Bracer, Blink queued up, so it looks like they want to put their foot down and play quickly with the Sand King rather than the Vanguard, which was offered as an option by the panel.
I think you get it like a Bracer. You get Tranquils in this lane. There's going to be a lot of harassment from Luna and Undying. You might need to go for it because you're Hoodwink. Like, she's not going to use the healing salve on you. It's only half the duration, so it's going to be very difficult for Sand King to sustain. Luna's already off to a good start. She got the first blood, so she's going to get the items. What is she bringing? Where's the courier? It's a band of Elven skin. She has a lot of stats. I don't think they should worry about the kill threat on Luna down there, especially if Undying puts a point in a Soul Rip, gets the Tombstone. So yeah, the Sand King's dead.
He's not got Sandstorm or anything. Pops his stick, has a Fairy Fire, but yeah.
Not sure what that was, but wasn't good. LTH,
yeah,
he got the last hit on Tombstone, so 125 gold for him. At least it's something. I'm really stunned by what just happened. Like, Sand King, like, he's one of the weakest level 1 heroes. I'm not sure what the plan is. Like, even if Undying gets just a Soul Rip, there's gonna be so much harassment on you that you're gonna lose the region war.
Yeah, and he needs levels desperately. Does have Caustic now. Under a creep wave, trying to chip away at Yuma, and a good bushwhack should finish her off. So Frank and LTH. Oh man, the Jukes. Yuma in the trees.
Can he use the salve? He can.
They're gonna find her
some
anyway.
time.
Lucent Beam does buy a bit of space, but still falls. As top lane, Eternally killed Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor killed Scarlet Mage. A trade 1-for-1 there, but more importantly, Vitaly has the creep wave by his tower, so free farm continues for him as he's 12-1 as the off-lane Beastmaster. I've also seen in top lane, Scarlet Mage has control over the boars. So it's been El Misho controlling boars and with his hero and just going towards the enemies, hitting them with concussive shot, attacking with himself and the boars.
Yeah, that's when you can't control units, so you give it to friends. He's like, yeah, good luck. Do whatever you want with them. Just kidding. It's a professional game. Professional athletes, Gary. They know what to do. How's the mid lane doing?
To hit creeps.
Yeah, let's check the mid lane. We talked about the side lanes. Most of the time, Puck 17 CS. Ember has 16. Would expect Ember to have a little bit more, but yeah, Ember has a point in Flame Guard. Maybe that's why. I think in this matchup, you go for the chains. If that's level 2 chain, he's still gonna get a kill. Okay.
He still does, yeah.
I've seen this matchup a decent amount of times, and you get that Blightstone. Puck has 2 armor, so he goes down to 0, which is
bottom.
Gonna be a lot of right clicks. Bottom.
That's a nice tomb. Gardic again bullying Frank. This was SG playing aggressively into this Radiant safe lane. LTH looks like we find to slip away.
It's very difficult to get a kill on Undying. Undying has almost 100 damage when sitting next to Luna and having some decay as well.
He's got some hefty punches.
He wants to die.
I hate life. One of Undying's best voice lines. Where's he going to go? Mid-tier 2? Try and die there. LTH realizes it's not worth tracking back and trying to finish him off. Take the free money. He does leave Luna alone for a little bit. No, another 10 seconds. El Misho top, pushing a lot of damage onto Widge. So far, Witch Doctor Not able to really control this Beastmaster. Vitaly completely free farming, it feels like.
The nerfs. Like it was, well, let me just double check. 731, the cask was changed. So reduced creep stun duration from 5 to 1. So it's not as good against the creeps anymore. It does deal extra damage, double damage on the creeps, and also extra bounces. So it's good in terms of the damage, but it needs to bounce. But in terms of controlling them and stunning, it's it's a bit more difficult. Puck level 5, while Ember is level 6 and 1/4. So he can go for an aggressive play. If he gets the chain off, in terms of net worth, yeah, Ember is ahead, even though Puck has more CS, which means that Puck has been farming the small camp.
That solo kill definitely helped out for Analog as well. Oh, they're going to go on burn on top. And he's done. Even with his Helm of the Iron Will, he can't sustain the damage coming from Vitaly and Elmisho. And they split away, trying to remove the effectiveness of the cask. But with
Oh, the
LTH
Skelly
arriving,
Bros.
the Hoodwink helped out by the skeletons there. Take both of them down. Still losing that Wraith King.
Dire's middle
When Undying was passing through the triangle, he also planted the sentry ward big camp on a big camp, so there's not going to be any stacks. I think Sand King definitely relies in this game to get some stacks going, because he needs to recover.
He's got a sentry under his tower and tombstoning him
Dire's
away from the lane.
is under attack.
So tower pressure, 6 minutes in as Analog caught out. And KXY traded back as the Skyrath finishes him off. I think we've got a little problem with the game, so we'll come back to us for a second and resolve that as the game continues. So, Lacoste, we'll do a radio cast, but it looks like things are pretty chill for the meantime. Hokori just pushing that bottom tier 1. And like, how often do we see this? Bottom tier 1 Radiant killing it off so early?
Doesn't happen, usually. Nothing too fancy about it. Like, I mean, you have another entrance where you can go inside the enemy triangle, but you can also go through the river, so you don't care too much about it. They should figure out what's happening with the big camp, try to devort it. LTH has a sentry, he's stacking the big camp. Analog gets the kill on Vidge.
Yeah, that was a Witch Doctor with a killing spree that was just lurking around top.
Gary,
What's up?
Vidge is playing Witch Doctor.
He is the Witch Doctor.
Yeah, just realized. And now we see the rotation. KXY has another coil. Well, when I say we see, we don't
We see it.
We see it,
You
but
don't.
you don't.
You don't see it, but they do. But oh, that's a nice pushback, and we're back in game. Perfect timing. They've caught out Vitaly, trying to focus him down, but he gets the roar back onto LTH. And he's taken down to Maledict. That's a lot of damage from the Witch Doctor there. They also find Analog. So tier 1 claimed by the Radiant, but 2 core kills claimed by SG.
And another tower.
Is under attack.
And most importantly, Luna is farming. They also
Radiant's top
need to
tower
make
is
some
under
kind of stacks in the triangle for her. Like, she's one of the fastest farmers in the game, going for that Mask of Madness. Wraith King will need some time to recover. Berna does have Armlet going into phase boot next, so pretty standard stuff.
Primarily this Blink Dagger on Sand King that they'll be waiting for. And the next item for Puck, whatever that may be. Another bit of... Oh, Widge. Nope. That's not enough. He tried it. Level 2 Maledict in the Death Ward. But now Puck, against this Sky who has that instant silence out of Ancient Seal, causing some issues for KXY.
It's very difficult for Puck playing into Skyrat Mage. Like, you need some kind of a dispel, whether we're talking about the Yield Scepter, whether we're talking about like BKB, whatever you can get. I know the mid players, I've seen it so many times where they just straight up refuse to get it. You're playing against the best silence in the game. It's 6-second instant silence. It's the only instant silence. Yeah. Except Orchid, if we're talking about just the... Like,
You gotta buy Orchid,
the
don't you?
spell. Yeah, exactly. And I want to see Skyrat put more points in the Ancient Seal.
Absolutely do. It's just wherever Hokori go on the map right now, they are the dominant force, it feels like. You know, bot tier 1, top tier 1, now they're planting themselves into mid. Analog has his Orb of Corrosion. Scarlet Mage out in the open Healed up a bit with a Soul Rip and a good tombstone placement from Gareth, but that Death Ward, Witch Doctor lets it go.
Let
and he's
it
got
go.
Analog in his
Look
sights
at it
as well.
go.
Remnanting off to the side. 2 supports down, tombstone claimed, so another 175 gold there for Witch Doctor. There's space for Luna to farm, but it felt like Hokori really wanted to finish off that mid-tier 1. And we're met with some valiant defense from SG.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And Witch Doctor got level 6 before 10 minutes, which is pretty impressive. Pullback.
It gets hurricaned. That's a good coil on Analog, though. When he rifted forward, coiled up the Ember Spirit. He's got slight to maybe try and dodge a bit of damage, but in the end, SG, they get themselves away from that battle, not wanting to continue, losing Witch Doctor on the way out. LTH does have Sharpshooter, and he's kind of angling towards going again.
Bottom tower.
But once more, Hokori bring numbers mid. Catapult waves here. And Beastmaster with his little army. And Analog's return will jump the poor little hoodwink. Hurricaned again. And this whole concept of Wraith King maybe being able to defend towers and plant himself in front of tier 1s to hold back the opponents. It's not happened yet, but this is where Burner might start to shine.
They need Frank. Like, Frank has a good timing on a Blink Dagger, considering that his lane didn't go too well. It's a 10-minute Blink Dagger on top of Magic Wand and Bracer, so super farmed. And now Wraith King has that point in Reincarnation, has that extra damage from the Armlet plus Phase Boots. Skellies are also available, plus the Catapult. I want to see a big fight. KXY does have ulti available in a second, but there's also a Tombstone. Like, if Tombstone is placed well, Tombstone just wins them the fight.
Yeah. Automatic, guaranteed teamfight victory. Standoff across the river. Gives space for Analog to push out side lanes and farm. You can always TP to the tier 1 to get involved if he wants to. And Luna, of course, sprinting towards the net worth lead. A good 800 ahead of the Wraith King. And has some stacks made up for her as well. Frank with a blink, though. Oh, that's not what he wanted to catch. Messes out on the Beastmaster, and now the turn. Slight chains, Analog's in, looks for LTH. They've isolated the hoodwink. And she will have to sacrifice herself for the safety of her teammates.
Beastmaster only recipe away from Helm of the Overlord. They're gonna have a really hard time killing that creep. That's gonna be big momentum for Hokori. Like, you just don't have enough damage to deal with that.
Caustic Sandstorm finally slowing down this push. Frank wants to be the one initiating, not the one being initiated upon. Analog stunned, but the puck is caught, and KXY dead to the Eclipse of Luna. That's a good bushwhack from LTH, though. Sharp shooting the Analog Ember, but with Gareth healing and soul ripping, he will tank through the Death Ward and just hold the line. As Widge, caught in the trees, gave his position away, and Reincarnation popped in a 3 for 2. 4 if you do include that Wraithing ulti, which was level 1.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just very difficult. Like, they need the epicenter to go off. If it doesn't go off, they just don't have enough damage. Wraith King's trying to farm up. He does have a Mithril Hammer. I think he just straight up goes for Deso here. Like, you would also want to have a BKB, because you could easily get kited. But still, I feel like they need to lock onto target with the Sanking, with the puck, and just be able to delete one of the heroes.
Yeah, they absolutely need to be moving out and playing together. So we've not even seen this roar into Mystic Flare, really, the combo there, the chains into Mystic Flare.
Because it's bugged.
So,
I saw Mystic Flare, it went off in the previous fight. It wasn't on the same hero, but yeah, sometimes it happens when spectating the games.
invisible spells.
Invisible spells, very cool.
But yeah, the fact that you've got these duos you can have, Sky Ember, Sky Beastmaster. Now, Undying can sit with a Luna or can play out in these lanes to look for team fights. There's so many ways for Hokori to approach ganks and pickoffs. Whereas it feels like SG, they need more numbers. And there is the invisible Mystic Flare. Yep, nice. Dead Hoodwink.
Skywrath Mage does have multiple heroes he can play with. And once again, the problem from not having any anything to kill the Tombstone in the team fights is gonna be massive. This is level 4 Tombstone. No one's gonna go for it. Like, they need to kill the heroes, and if I'm just really worried about it.
That is a thing to be worried about. Especially when you've got this Beastmaster giving all the vision in the world. Sees Wraith King TPing home. So now an opportunity for the other 3 to smoke. And this is that gank squad. Roaming through Dire Triangle. Huck showed mid. And it looks like a good move from SG to fall back into that northern jungle. I feel that something isn't quite right on the map. And now, in that Dire Observer, they'll definitely see Gardic.
SG would
XY.
want to have this Deso on raking. It's a big damage output that they need. He's 200 gold away from it. Skellies, can they find something? Anything, any kind of farm. He needs 1 extra camp to kill it.
Skelly see a hawk. And Wraith King sees the Warpine Raiders. And that's Deso on its way out to Wraith King now.
Or is it? Where's his courier? It's sitting in the base. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 couriers.
There we go.
Send it out. Okay, he was waiting for a TP as well.
Yeah, we get to this stage of the game where Sand King had this Blink Dagger for quite a while now.
No FP.
If he's not having these perfect team fights, his scaling just completely stops with this kind of build. Wants a BKB next.
Oh, Witch
Shard is
Doctor
cute,
causing a lot of issues. These casks, if he gets like 2 casks in a fight, that's gonna be pretty big. Does have a Holy Locket finished?
Yeah, they
Coil
miss
miss.
out. Whiffed it. Analog didn't even have to sidestep.
This is a
Okay,
disaster.
why?
They need to run away.
Wraith King is going to die here. Does have that level 2 reincarnation and an armlet to toggle, but Tombstone down means fight is pretty much over for the Dire. Frank is going to go for the FP Blink. The Death Ward's good, but the Luna BKB just demolishes the rest of them. Vitali found Frank, and now the raw forward under the Witch Doctor will allow Analog to close the gap with his remnants. Gotta be a little bit wary though, these bushwhacks and a bit of damage coming in from Weird and LTH off to the side, while El Misho slain by this minus armor out of the Wraith King. And in fact, it's Hokori who lose out. What a weird fight.
I thought this is gonna be even worse because they dropped down the Tombstone. They needed to help out. Like, Sanking needs to be extremely careful. If he gets hit by 1 zombie, Epi doesn't go off, so needs to keep the distance. But yeah, they got 2 kills out of it, and they still show that they can take these fights. Next Wraith King ulti, they should try to go in again with the epicenter as well. Witch is doing a very good job on this Witch Doctor. A lot of net worth. He managed to kill Beastmaster units. Like those boars, they just disappear.
A little more difficult to kill this dragon though, as it helps Gardic D-Ward. But now Gardic getting chain stunned up by the cask, and the Maledict on him, sharpshooted and killed. Roshan beginning to be attempted by the Radiant, and yeah, Gardic does buy back to facilitate it, but
Oh, coil on 3, but no follow-up.
Just dies. No follow-up, and the Ancient Seal, level 4, maxed down as you wanted. Controls the puck perfectly.
Inside the pit they go. Helm of the Overlord, extra damage, extra lifesteal, Inner Beast on top of that. They need their abilities to be available. 20 seconds until Epicenter, and also breaking with the DD. But no ulti.
Gardic, Tombstone. He just fought back and he's pretty close to death, but Frank, hounded by this Ember Spirit, chased down into the trees. And I don't think we'll see the effectiveness of this Wraith King DD. They've given up on any hopes or chances of contesting Roche now. Vitali and the gang have returned to the pit.
It could have been big, because their reincarnation and Epicenter would sync up perfectly. It's just one of the heroes got caught up. Puck almost has a Blink Dagger. Here we go, just got the gold. After picking up 2 bounties and going into Yule Scepter. I like that a lot. I talked about the importance of having a dispel mechanic, playing it the Skyrat Mage, being able to dispel the chains, and also potentially like set things up. Flame Guard, you can also dispel that, but you definitely don't want to use it aggressively.
And that is your defensive tool. Yeah, you're speaking about that one hero being caught out, and it's Frank with this Blink build. He's now down to 800 gold saved up. He's having a real rough time. 6,000 net worth.
I don't blame him because both supports, like, they can't start a fight. These heroes are like very good at reacting when enemy does something. Ooh, Bushwhack, BKB is available.
And Analog, another hero that has really lost out in the farm race, does BKB and jump across Widge. Might be able to finish him off with another chains and a sleight of fist here, but Undying. Tombstone down and now zoning out the rest of SG, just picking up the support kills and letting the cores run for the hills.
It's time to back off. This type of lineup from Hokori, like, it can explode. They take one big fight and, not gonna say end the game, but they get very close to ending the game, especially with the Beastmaster.
Oh, the Boar and the Thunderhide. Phase shift. And the Orb will defeat that wraparound from Beastmaster's units, but a little bit spooky for KXY Puck there on the way back.
Burna bought the book for himself. Like, that means he wants reincarnation down to 60 seconds. He wants that level 3 to be able to go in, take a fight, reset, come back in again. To go back to Frank, the way the way he's playing, sometimes you just have to do it because two supports, like, they can't do much around the map, and if you're like trying to split push, that means you're also not making any kind of aggressive moves because Puck, Witch Doctor, Hooding, like, they can kill a hero, but they can't kill a hero that, like, has magic immunity. Like, they can't just go in and burst Luna. They can't burst Ember Spirit. It's very difficult. So Sanking needs to stay away from the map, one of the reasons why his farm suffers.
Yeah, it feels like the game plan for SG is to kind of put Wraith King somewhere and then 4 heroes sit behind him, counter-initiate onto the Wraith King's reincarnation. Because they also really suffer when it comes to pushing objectives, right? We don't see SG trying to trade towers or anything like that. They are not pushing top lane. They're waiting for someone to show to try and fight them. Because you know that Hokori, once they get to towers and objectives, Luna Beastmaster carve through them incredibly quickly. Widge. Careful, buddy. They are going to try and blow up this Luna, though. Good Maledict. Still holding BKB in a roar there. Holding Wraith King in place. Burner will be able to take Yuma's first life with a trade of his own. But the Tombstone just not being dealt with. Like you've been saying, it just stands there spawning these zombies all over the place. And the Wraith King down to the Eclipse. Widge will join him. And there's no respawning out of that.
He needs a BKB. Like, once you go in, die once, you need to be able to get out somehow. And the buyback from El Misho. They still defend the tower. Good execution from SG. Luna is the type of a hero that needs to be very close to attack. Like, she's not a range carry. She's like half melee, half range. So she gets punished for that, as we've seen. Like, good bushwhack into cask, and they managed to blow her up once. She needs to pop a BKB, and they stop the push because Hokori is definitely not going to go for more.
Yeah, just relax a bit. Wait for BKB to come off cooldown. And wait for the next Roshan in like 4 minutes. As a DD has spawned outside the pit. Yuma would love to go grab that. I mean, as would Analog. Still pretty close net worth-wise. I don't know, it's always felt to me in the back of my head that Hokori have been really stepping up the pace, you know, the entire tempo of the game. They are the conductor. They're the ones saying, this is where we go. Enemy will try and fight us here at Roshan, here at mid, and we'll be ready for them. Is there a point at which SG will want to make the first move?
Yeah, well, I think once Wraith King has his ulti available again, it's gonna sync up with his BKB timing, and it's time to go. Like, Wraith King just deletes Skywrath Mage. Like, this hero does absolutely nothing, sitting at, 3 armor when he's close to Beastmaster. Wraith King does have Armlet, extra 8 damage from Deso and Brigand's Blade, so could potentially 2-shot him. 1 crit and then 1 extra hit from the Brigand's Blade will bring Skywrath Mage down.
Yeah. Sky will die. I see the DD. Is Analog going to give bottle to Yuma? Or are they just gonna... Yeah. Bottle handed over so they can hold that DD. Just that little bit longer. And Radiant actually scan and connect. Bit of intel there for them, knowing that maybe the hoodwink, whoever it is lurking around and will show on the wave. Vitali's also setting up with Analog in towards mid lane. Multi-pronged attempt from Hokori to try and clear out top, grab the outpost, come back towards mid tier 2 and keep that siege going. Another situation where you really are poking at SG, forcing them to respond, get some reaction out of them.
Still 2 lanes pushed in, both top and bottom. There's still DD available, BKB as well, but I don't think they're gonna go for the high ground push. Like, they might go for the fight near the base, try to kill 1 or 2, and then go for the high ground. Because as we've seen, when they try to siege, like, it might look juicy to try to go and do it with the DD, a lot of bounces, but yeah, you get jumped by Sanking Hoodwink, you die.
Yeah, you kind of want to drag them back. And Radiant have a lot of vision around triangle, around mid lane, and you want these high ground spots for Tombstone as well. You don't want to just be...
Problem for SG is Burna is not getting any farm. Like, he gets whatever comes close to the tower. So that means his BKB is going to be delayed.
Yeah, it sure is. He has to rebuild that skeleton army as well. So Hokori split out. They've got Ember with a Remnant ready to rejoin them if need be. Gareth Mage going on a bit of a wander. Doesn't have any observers or anything. Just looking for someone. Anyone. But nobody's there. There's SG to make the move out of their base. They want to reclaim the outpost. Get some of this land back. Incredibly important for them to contest next Roshan in particular. Still no fear, no threat for Hokori to really deal with. They are just completely freely farming 3 lanes plus a jungle.
SG is recovering, I would say. I mentioned that they need to get out of the base, get stuff done. Raid King, level 18, BKB. That's their timing. I think they should smoke and try to go for a fight.
Yeah, get some vision down. Put yourself in a good spot to fight around Roche. Cutting waves with KXY, one of the best split pushes in the game. The puck gets in behind waves, very elusive, difficult to catch. Pretty impossible to kill. Now he's got that Yule's Blink Dagger. Even gonna go behind tier 2.
That's what he needs to do. It's very risky. He can... Like, they can catch him with Skyrat Mage, Beastmaster, Ember Spirit. They do have vision. Oh, if he kills the courier, that's gem. That's big. This is huge.
Oh, he's got it. There's a gem. The KXY out of the hands of the Gardic Undying. Radiant now scrambling to try and find something else. It's been a good 3-4 minutes here from SG, pushing top with Hoodwink, bottom with the puck, keeping these side lanes away from the base so that Hokori can't have that double angle towards 2 lanes of racks from the triangle, which is such a good platform for Radiant to play into. Both teams scanning, in fact. Dire are going to know that they're all up top around the outpost, and Gardic even showing under the Observer Ward now. Incredibly fast spawn on Roche too, Lacoste. 10 seconds.
They needed to fix the lanes on SG. Try to make stuff happen, and now it's smoke time. A bit delayed, but I think they know. I think they know exactly where Hokori is standing, and look at the drawings. They drew where the enemies are and how to approach this, but gonna get the kill on the Observer Ward. Gonna kill the boar. Sorry, Hawk.
Yeah, they saw it with a gem and they were unsure for a few seconds whether they want to try and be bait with a Hoodwink, kill the Observer Ward or not. In the end, removing vision, super important for them. Hokori still playing this very closed-in map, playing 5 heroes all together. Dire getting much more effectiveness out of the rest of the map. Puck and Hoodwinker mid now cutting waves again. Bot being shoved in by the Witch Doctor. This means Dire are a little bit stranded down in the bottom third of the map, and that means top left, Roshan Pit belongs to the Radiant.
They need if this tier 2 tower was dead, I think they would be fine with it, where they go in and try to make something happen, make Hokori panic, go for the tier 3 tower, but this Roshan is just dead. And now giving Shard and Aegis to Luna is it's a bit tricky. Luna's massive. She's still on top of the network. She's been on top of the network throughout the whole game. Having that Shard, having Satanic on top of that, it's a 7-second BKB and Aegis. Like, you need to address this. Same thing they did previous time. Because if the tier 3 tower falls, ooh.
Well, in comes Frank. They want to kill off El Micho, and they will pick him off. The puck gets the job done. BKBs galore from the Radiant, and a roar onto Burner. Does have Reincarnation and BKB available, while Analog dives in deeper, finds the Frank kill, buys back on the Sand King, but Analog going wild, looking to pick up even more supports, but he has to Remnant away now as LTH was closing the gap on him. Luna stunned, but BKB's up, and the Eclipse is there. Shreds through the Sand King's second life, dead for 70 seconds now. And the set of barracks falling quickly to the Luna Glaives.
They don't have much. Against the BKBs, it's very difficult for them to fight. Like, they pop the BKB on Luna before the Aegis runs out. Like, he finds the opportunity. Frank with the buyback. I think this is just game. 45 seconds without sanking. There's just not enough. Like, they don't have anyone to initiate. Maybe Hoodwink can do it, but I don't think they can munch through the tankiness of Luna.
Yeah, not enough damage, not enough control. And Luna still has Aegis for 3.5 minutes. So systematic destruction of the Dire base, swinging from top to mid, down to bottom lane. It's an Old Spice commercial. Look at Luna. Look at out. Look at the puck. Sharpshooter's there. Look at that Hoodwink slapping down on the Undying and forcing the buyback. Puck, though, having to Yule Scepter up and immediately stunned as it lands. Yuma continually pummeling these buildings as well, but has to turn and fight now. Burner on KXY doing some serious damage to her. And Yuma, well, hits the buildings. Aegis down while Analog diving the back lines, killing off supports and forcing buybacks out of them. But Frank has managed to respawn and return, getting that blink initiation onto Yuma. Satanic will not keep her alive, so one barracks remains. The melee bottom stands between the Dire and Mega Creeps.
They need to get more
Frank's
out of
in.
this.
Nice BKB. Analog saves himself, and now the Slight, the chains, the catch on to the Sand King, dead for another 50 seconds. Burner just can't stick on a target. He can't find anyone. He's got lots of damage to pack, but no control to allow him to do it.
He needs Sanking to get multiple stuns in a fight. Like, Sanking goes in, uses one stun, dies. And now they're in a situation where Hokori can go in and end the game. They pop the BKB, they heavily commit on the barracks, drop the tombstone, roar one guy. So you know that you're going to be playing against the Mega Creeps. Braid King already preparing for it. He has plus 25% cleave. So that's going to help out quite a lot. Full AC is done. They shut him down. Sanking, like, very difficult game for him. We've seen, I'd say, 2 good epicenters in this game. Witch Doctor. This is a hero that got a lot of buffs over the recent patches, like small buffs. Works nice. I think Witch Doctor did one hell of a job in this game with the cask, with the ultis. He must be one of the higher damage on his team. I think he's dealt more damage than Hoodwink and a Sanking. Yeah, not combined, but
individually. I think you might be right. He's got his shard now as well, so Voodoo Switcheroo is available for him. This is where you wish you had an Aghanim Scepter on the Wraith King. You know, where's that next Roche? Where's my Ag's Blessing? And then you guarantee yourself multiple Sand King stuns, right? Frank jumps in, stuns, dies, comes back to life as a ghost, stuns again.
Dire just use scan, so they should know something is up. Like, you don't scan if you're sitting inside the base. The lanes are pushed in, so you need to expect this.
Who can they find, though? There's the Slight to give the vision. Analog saw them coming. BKBs before he's initiated on. Puck will jaunt away to the orb, but now it's caught with a roar. A Lucent Beam set it all up, but KXY dead with no buyback. A 5v4 now as Hokori move towards the base. The dive bomb of the Hawk, aided by the Analog Ember Spirit to catch the Hoodwink. Still a 5v4. But when your base is open like this, it is an invitation for Luna to come and take your buildings.
Luna doesn't have a BKB, so they might need to go in and try to blow her up. Let's go.
Oh, Frank's in. They're trying to blow her up. Luna down to half HP. Burner. Nah, he can't. He can't stand his ground against this. Yuma Satanic's up. Destroys the tombstone, sure, but Burner's first life is about to fall while Analog and Vitali have cleared up the back lines. And now we have no chance for SG. They call it.
When I said they need to try to blow her up, try was the key word in that one. Yeah, it's difficult. Bottom lane didn't go as expected. Luna continued to free farm. Analog, like, it's a problem with Puck that I have. Like, this hero is straight up hit or miss. It can feel really good where you're dominating, where you're like playing with the hero. Like, let's say Puck and Sankey were playing throughout the whole game before Ember could get a BKB. They kill him multiple times. It just didn't happen. And one big problem that they had is not having anyone that can kill the Tombstone in the fights.
Yeah, that was a massive issue for them. Yeah, just looking at the stats there towards the end, you know, Frank just under 10,000 net worth. His counterpart, the Beastmaster, closer to 17,000. There's definitely a big gap in terms of how many items, how much gold the offlaner's got. That's, you know, often the case with the Sand King who goes for Blink first. If you don't win and chain together continual teamfight victories, that investment.
And if you look at the
dagger
damage, like I wasn't wrong. Witch Doctor actually dealt more damage than both Hoodwink and Sand King individually.
Yeah.
Like, even Puck, like, he was very close to Puck's damage, which was pretty insane.
Yeah, what is that, like 50 damage more than the Puck? Beautiful stuff. But there we have it. Game 2, tying things up 1 apiece between SG and Hokori. So Game 3 coming up, and the panel can tell you what to expect.
So you can see that Epulze does not trust this panel very much, and I think rightfully so. Wingblade, you managed to curse SG. RDO, you're actually an analyst. Great job, guys. Both of you, very, very proud. Wingblade,
I just want the viewers to have Dota.
let's start off with you, Wingblade. Why did you decide to curse SG? What was it about their draft that you were not very, very happy with, or their playstyle, perhaps?
I feel like it mostly came down to the Puck. Like, in the last fight, I was so sad because the Wraith King just jumped in, right-clicked twice, and then saw he was doing no damage and just spent there like 5 seconds attacking the Tombstone. And I was like, that has to feel so bad. But yeah, Puck really didn't cut it for me. We saw even in the end game screen, he just didn't deal that much damage. Felt like he could keep people in place relatively well, but they couldn't kill anyone. And he also didn't like get its 25 in time to really shut down the Ember, whose build I really liked, just going straight BKB. So yeah, mostly the Puck for me. And of course, like RDO said, when Hokori is confident, they play a lot better, and it shows.
All right, RDO. Would this game have got any different if it was a Terrorblade, not a Wraith King?
Hit Tombstone. Like, every single problem of them would be solved. I feel
Sorry, go ahead.
They should either pick TB plus Puck or Wraith King plus Winner, and they didn't do any of these.
Yeah, exactly. Agree.
Okay, that's fair enough. Do you feel like the playstyle, like when you saw the Wraith King pick, do you feel like they were gonna play faster than what they did? Do you think that was appropriate for what they played?
I feel like the way they see the game is when they play against Beastmaster, they want to always protect their towers. So they just pick, they just commit on lanes with carry. Like, first game they picked CK, and second game they picked Wraith King. So the carry has a good lane, and suddenly there's a 1.5 KHP hero at 10 minutes defending a tower, and you cannot do anything.
Okay. And this time it didn't really work out for them because, of course, the late game was also not easier, right? Eventually, they just got run over anyway. Well, we're going to see if they get run over a third or a second time in this case, or if they can bring it back in this third game and manage to get a win against Hokori, which would still be an upset. And SG should be very proud of what they've accomplished for now, but they really want to close the score. Will Hokori be able to beat SG and show us the confidence they were known for last season, or will SG surprise us all and take the first win of the season against Hokori? We're gonna have to wait and see. A quick break, and we'll be back with game 3.